Welcome to Joe Stunner Boxing. You will have seen my videos perhaps where I've sort of heaped a bit of praise onto Jake Paul for the promotional work that he's doing within the sport, but unfortunately the flip side of that is that he has this rather farcical pro career that's going on, and today there was a press conference of sorts for his exhibition with Gervonta Davis. I suppose this is a boxing channel, so I have to cover it. I did not see the whole thing because life's too short, but I did see clips and I read about it also. And this exhibition will take place on November the 14th. There's about 4 stone in difference, which in pounds is probably 55 to 60 pounds roughly. It's going to be that sort of range. During the so-called, I wouldn't call it a face-off, it was more like a face to nipple off, because, you know, he absolutely dwarfed, Jake Paul absolutely dwarfed Davis. It's kind of farcical really, but this will take, like I say, this will take place November the 14th, and it's already been moved from Georgia, the state of Georgia, because the commission didn't like the fact that there's such a size disparity. Disparity, is that the word? Disparity, yeah. But Nakisa Badarian, who is Jake Paul's business partner and probably does all the heavy lifting within that relationship, he said, no, there will be a winner announced. They're going to have, although it's an exhibition, there'll be three judges there. They'll have 12-ounce gloves on, not 8-ounce. Yeah, I suppose 12. Yeah, 12 ounces. They're not. Yeah, all right. So they're 12-ounce gloves, but there will be supposedly, as Nakisa says, there'll be 3 commission-approved world-class judges that will score every round to ensure there's a decisive outcome for the fight if it goes the distance. Can you imagine if Tank knocked out Jake Paul? It won't happen. I mean, there's too much mass in front of him. And also, both men will be tested by USADA. Okay, the highest level testing, says Badarian. Okay, well, it's negligible, isn't it? I mean, okay. So Paul was asked about his size advantages. He said, I'd say a lot of things, but first and foremost, it's going to be my reach and my size and just keeping him away. I think there's a lot of holes in his defence that a lot of people haven't exposed before. He's a great fighter, one of the best, and he's forcing me to elevate myself to new heights. Well, you couldn't be any fucking higher, could you, compared to Gervonta Davis? But holes in Tank's game, okay. Whatever gave you the impression that apart from your size, you are the person to exploit them? Jake carries on. He says, I'm more locked in than ever, but I know at the end of the day I'm going to come in and outbox the guy who's been boxing for 7 times as long as me. What I've done in the sport is unprecedented and will never be replicated. I've done it in such a short amount of time and I'm just getting warmed up. Mate, you're a cruiserweight have you fought at? Has he fought at heavyweight over 195? I think he has. And he's taken on a lightweight, albeit an extremely good lightweight. What does this say about Tank Davis, though? Let's have a think. I mean, Tank is... he's... Has he checked out of boxing? I don't know. Someone... I forget who said it. Someone I know said this. Oh, he's checked out of boxing. He's just looking for the money. I think you can argue that Tank has always just looked for the money, and he's got it as well. Because he hasn't exactly been... taking on. He's fought some decent men, but he's not one of those I'll fight anyone types. And whereas his talent suggests he could have had created a bigger legacy than he has done, even though he's won belts at different weights. It's always been about the money. And I mean the draw with Lamont Roach Jr. certainly suggested that he is beatable. He's never thrown that many punches, has he? What's he going to do with someone as big as Jake Paul? It's all a bit of a farce, isn't it, really? But Jake Paul, never been shy to offer a few words. He also said, I'm just getting warmed up. this fight will shut up more people. What? Because you might outpoint a lightweight? Okay. The last fight I had was the end of chapter 1. This is the beginning of chapter 2. When I beat this guy, people will shut up. No, we won't. What do you mean? We're not talking in the first place because it's just you versus a lightweight. You're outweighing this guy by, 55, 60 pounds. You're a foot taller than him. Your wingspan, I mean, you could cuddle him to death, for Christ's sake. He said, this is a top pound-for-pound fighter I'm going to outbox. Yes, a lightweight, not a cruiserweight, not even a light heavyweight. You lost to Tommy Fury, all right, who's, I would say, is probably not even area level in Britain. Asked why he's fighting Paul instead of rematching, I'm reading this from an article, by the way. Asked why he's fighting Paul instead of rematching Lamont Roach following their draw earlier this year. Gervonta Davis said, I don't want to put a lot out there, but I'm doing what's best for me and what's right for me. In other words, I'm getting a lot of money. Fair enough, it's prize fighting. I've been doing this for a little minute now since I was 7 years old, and this is the first camp where I can enjoy myself, which implies he's thinking, this guy might be, 2 or 3 times my size. I don't give a fuck. He's crap, so I'll be able to handle it. Okay, don't blame you. He says, I think it's going to be a great event. Every time I fight, it's fireworks. Jake Paul is coming in. He's much bigger, much stronger. Boxing wins on November the 14th. I hope so, Tank. I hope so, because this sort of thing is the circus, isn't it? I mean, how on earth can anyone possibly think of it in anything other than those terms? This is a circus act. I've said all along that Jake Paul's professional boxing career is, the Harlem Globetrotters. If you don't know who they are, you'll have to Google them. They were a basketball team and they had a sort of stooge set of opponents, and they would, do all sorts of fancy flicks, and, basically it was an act, if you like, kind of like whatever they call it now, WWE wrestling or whatever it's. I'll never watch it, but that is it then. And it was quite funny watching the clip. One of the clips I did see was the face-off, and Jake Paul was, adopting a fighting pose, and Tank's just standing there with his, he's wearing a camouflage bomber jacket. He's got his hands in his pockets, just looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, anyway, some of you asked what I think of this. I have answered. Let me know your comments below. And what do you think of this? Will you be watching it? I won't. I mean, I might take a look after the fact. But this is on Netflix, I think. So it's free. So I might take a look afterwards. But I'm damned if I'm staying up for this fucking thing. But as we've said before, there is entertainment to be had. And what does interest me is the undercard. So I will be watching the undercard. And I suppose, just to play devil's advocate, you could say that Jake Paul is, the fact that when he fights, so many eyes are on the card itself, not just his fight, but the undercard. He is doing good for boxing. And I think overall, with his promotional team, MVP, they are doing good work. But this is a fight of sorts. No, it's a lot of crap in it. Anyway, I don't know. You tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, why wouldn't you? It's been a classic. Hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. All right, ladies and gents, thanks very much. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.